So how would the runoff look like? And what would be the runoff economics?
Well, basically, the previous books that they've run off, typically can exist for between 3 and 5 years in a runoff scenario. And, really what you're talking about is a risk-adjusted margin that instead of a risk-adjusted margin of around 15-16%, typically, it will be more like 20% for a prime book because of the, the predictability on impairment. Because you can really lower the impairment charge, and also you avoid the upfront marketing cost. So actually, I would have thought they would be, returning a risk-adjusted margin on a runoff book in co-brand, of between 20 and 25% per year over 3 to 5 years. And, that's extremely good from a cash flow viewpoint.
Right. So how would the curve look like? So let's say that you start with 800 million, and then do you collect 100% over this 3 to 5 years, or there is some residual that you sell to that purchaser?
No, they've always sold certain amounts of residual to debt purchasers. It varies, but I'd have thought 10 to 20% would be sold. Because they're too difficult to collect and they take too long, and there's a kind of cost-benefit curve. So no, I'd have thought they will definitely sell a rump.
So let's say that I collect 80% of my book over 5 years. So this is the worst case scenario. So that gives me what? So I collect 16. Is it more or less linear? And I collect 16%. So my book decreases by 16% each year, or not?
Yeah, that's roughly right. Yeah,
okay.
That's the way to look at it.
Okay, perfect. So let's see what it is. Minus. Oh no, the 16% is what? It's about, okay, so it's about 125 million. So each year my book decreased by 128 million. And then I end up with a book of 160 million. And this 160 million, what would be the usual discount I sell it to, when I sell to the purchaser, to that purchaser?
To debt purchasers, you're normally giving away around 20% of the value as a fee over 3 to 5 years. So you're taking a hit of around 20% of the risk-adjusted margin on that. Say if it's 100 million, and you're selling 100 million, you probably, instead of earning 25 million of that over 3 to 5 years, say 5 to 7 million a year or whatever, you'd basically be foregoing 20% roughly of that. So you'd basically be taking 80% of the 20 to 30 million. So you'd be only earning 10 to 15 million of that. So that the penalty or the price you pay would be between 5 or 10 million on 100 million.
Right, but that means that that does mean that my risk-adjusted margin from 20 becomes 16, or?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you could look at it on that way round rather than the other way. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay, because it's not like, okay, so because one way to do it is that I just sell, this 160 I'm left with at 80%, at 80 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that's another way that I can look. Okay, perfect. So, okay, and then, so this would make my risk-adjusted margin actually very high. No, not really, right? So the risk-adjusted income is. And what happens with the service and collection? I guess I still keep it, right? So service collection.